Hola estudiantes, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos al Español 201, Verano 1, 2026. Yo soy el profesor Stevens, and everything you need is on Canvas right here. So this is your Canvas course shell. You can see that this course goes through Summer 1, 2026, May 18th through June 17th. And you've got all your stuff over here on your left-hand margins. Most of what you're going to require is just in the modules part. So under student resources, we've got the syllabus. I sent this to you a few days ago, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it right now because, of course, you can go over it on your own. But, of course, if you do have questions, reach out to me. Remember, this course is asynchronous, so we don't meet. Asynchronous literally means not at the same time. To a large extent, it is self-driven. It's self-study. I'm here to guide you, to answer your questions, but you're pretty much on your own with the program, right? Now, we do have support. We've got tech support, of course, and we also have tutors if you're on campus at UNCW in the University Learning Center. But I'm your main source for help. So if you need something, just reach out to me. And again, I don't want to spend a lot of time here because I like to keep these videos short. The main thing for today is for you to get the required textbook. It's a digital textbook. Sorry, I just got off a plane. I'm a little bit jet lagged. So, Portales 2.0 Intermediate Spanish. It has to be that exactly because there are a lot of different Portales 2s out there. You don't want the introductory one, you want the intermediate Spanish. And for most people, the digital copy is going to be just fine. That gives you access to the website so you can do all of the homework, all that stuff. If you want to, you can get a loose leaf copy that they'll send to you, but that also includes the digital version. So there's no reason why you can't be ready and prepared on the very first day of class. So for more information, you can just click here. And once you've purchased your materials, you need to enroll in your particular section of 201. And notice how here we've got two going, so 800 and 805. So if you can remember which section you're in, it would be a lot easier. So it's all intuitive, and you'll see when you go on to the VHL website that you can choose 800 or the 805. And again, this is all your vital information. We can always refer back to it. You do need a good computer with a high-speed connection, and you also need access to a microphone and a webcam. Most computers have that built in anyway. Evaluation this summer consists of homework 40%, student video only one, going to be 10%, discussion blogs, peer responses. Of course, I'll explain all of this in due time. Two of those, 10% each, and chapter tasks, we should be able to get through 5, maybe 6, but just to be conservative, I put 5, and those will be worth 40%. Yes, you do have an extra credit opportunity, which consists of going or visiting the Spanish Conversation Center online one time for an additional 5% to help boost your grade. And then all these little components are broken down here. Homework, it's always due by midnight on the assigned day. And you can turn it late. However, there will be a 5% reduction per day. And also notice that if you have a mala racha or you have a bad spell, and for whatever reason you really couldn't get to the homework and one of your chapter homework grades is a little on the low side, don't stress too much about it because at the end of the term I'll go ahead and I'll drop that. Not just one homework assignment, but the homework assignment for that entire chapter. So just so that you're aware. Video again, here's more information, but I'll totally explain that when we get to it. Chapter tests, you take 5 chapter tests, and For these, I don't accept late chapter tests, so you have to take them seriously. You only get one shot at them. But again, if you blow one or if you miss one, don't stress out because the lowest test grade will be dropped at the end of the term. So we're back in student resources, and we have a link that will take us to the companion website. And I'm going to Portales 2.0, and here are our two sections of 201. A few people have already enrolled, which is really good. And here, if you go assignments, this gives you the big ballpark. And notice how all of the assignments for the first lección, for the first chapter, are going to be due on Friday the 22nd by midnight. I think that system works a lot better. I could assign activities every day, but it's just too nerve-wracking, and to allow for maximum flexibility because students often are taking more than one course or they're working, very busy. This way you know everything's due Friday, and then you can adjust your schedule accordingly. Ideally, you want to do about 2 hours a day. Obviously, you don't want to leave everything for the very end, but just so you know, everything is due on one particular day. Once you've completed that, then you're in good shape to take the lesson test, which will be due on Saturday the 23rd by midnight. Here it says 30 minutes, but you're always given 60 minutes, and I'll talk more about the test in the next couple of days. So I'm going to go into content and activity library, and this shows you what's due and when. So our first lección has to do with las relaciones personales, la familia, los amigos, los amores, todo eso. And contextos is always vocabulary, and so you just try to make connections between vocabulary items and meaning, and just simply click on, and it's pretty straightforward. You'll see
ansioso,
that you get a chance to practice. What you should do is listen,
autoritario,
and just simply repeat. So going back to activities, and you see that everything's due on the 22nd. Once you've gone through the vocab, you can concentrate on the structures. For each chapter, there are typically 3 main grammar points. In this case, we've got 1.1 present tense, 1.2 ser, estar, and 1.3 the progressive forms. So what I would do is I would always start with a grammar tutorial. They give us a little tutorial, and they try to keep it light.
Hola, estoy aquí.
He tries to
No, aquí.
inject a little bit of humor.
Ajá. Ay,
And
luz, por favor.
you see, it's in English.
That's better.
But
Today,
she'll
we're
run
going
through
to learn how to
the
form
present
the present
tense.
tense.
So these usually run about 6 or 7 minutes, and they're pretty good. So I would always start with that. And then I would proceed to the present tense, which is the textbook. Make it a little bit bigger. And then this is for a little bit deeper study. If you're visual like me, everything's laid out, so it's pretty good. That's how I would proceed. Grammar tutorial, present tense, and then here, which is the textbook, and then you would proceed to the actual activities, right? So just click them on and you can do them. And the thing about this homework is for most activities you have an unlimited number of attempts possible. So if it's a true-false situation, then obviously you don't because it's binary. But for the other ones, you can just keep going until you've gotten 100%. That way, in that sense, homework represents, to a certain extent, safety net points. There's no reason why you shouldn't do well on all of the homeworks. So you just run through, and I've tried to be very selective. You'll see there are so many activities, but you don't have to do all of them, only the ones with the dates. And then you always wind up with the autoevaluación for that particular section. So let's see, I think I'm going to go to the student view so that you can see what it's going to look like on your dashboard. I'm the professor, mine's a little bit different. So let's go in and view it as a sample student, and this is what you would see. So notice how they're sort of guiding you in a serial fashion. right? So they start you out with contextos, flash cultura, estructura, literatura, y atando cabos. Atando cabos is always the culminating activity. It's a bit like a pre-test. They try to simulate the conditions of a chapter test, but it still counts as homework. But this is one where you don't have an unlimited number of attempts to do it because they're trying to make it like a test. So you only have one shot, but it serves as a diagnostic to let you know what areas you need to work a little bit harder in, what you need to review before you take the actual lesson test. So that's atando cabos. Atando cabos means tying up loose ends. So that should be the last thing that you. Bueno, creo que es suficiente por ahora. If you need anything, reach out to me. I'll be in touch very soon to help guide you through this course. And suerte con todo y nos vemos muy pronto. Hasta luego.